You're still staticky, Andrew.
Oh, no, I'm still staticky. Okay, hold on. Wait a second.
Guess we got to do with what we got. Hilarious.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea what I'm clicking, but I'm clicking something that keeps on making it mute. We're just going to do it like this, okay? Once again, everybody, you're watching and listening to the We Are RIZIN podcast. This is Andrew Benjamin, and I'm joined by my special guest today, Mike from Ohio. How you doing, Mike?
Good. How about you, Andrew?
I'm doing good. Festive spirit. A few days after Christmas, and we're going to be talking some RIZIN. I guess this will be part 1 of 3 of a series, because initially it was going to be 3 shows, and I structured it to be like that. But unfortunately, things happen, and that's not going to happen. But I still want. But I can't talk about a 26 card fight or whatever it is.
It's 22. I want to say it is in
22
total.
fight card in like an hour setting. So we're splitting it, because if you don't give a shit about this portion, and I just cursed in the first 5 minutes, so no more monetization for this one. But nonetheless, if you don't like the Team Mikuru versus Team Ren thing, you can watch the other stuff that you care about. But today we're going to be talking about Team Mikuru, Team Ren, Team Black Rose, portion of the RIZIN card 49 decade card, which will be opening the show. Before we get into it, we always like to do a poster check. So I'm going to get the poster up right now. While I'm doing that, Mike, just tell us how you're feeling about this portion of the show.
I think it's interesting, actually. I know that it's supposed to be for domestic audiences, but I think there's some intriguing young fighters on here. And there's one match in particular, YURA against Taio Asahisa, that I'm really looking forward to.
Gotcha. I got the thing right here. Let me.
And one of the most and one of the more bizarre freak show matches that RIZIN has had in a while.
Oh yeah. Curious to know, how do you feel about the boxing? Well, I guess not all the boxing canceled, but most of the boxing stuff canceled, and Garcia pulling out due to the injury. What do you think about? Are you happy there's no more of those boxing fights?
I was looking forward to seeing Amado Vargas fighting, because Fernando Vargas, his father, is my favorite boxer of all time, so I was curious about him. But I like Ryan Garcia in spite of the baggage with him. He's a very good fighter. Other than that, I can do without it, truth be told.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm kind of happy that I feel like I never felt that part was like part of the RIZIN like a RIZIN show, if that makes sense.
No, it didn't. And it didn't seem like it was clicking in Japan either, to be quite blunt.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, we discussed it off air that show's not sold out. Tickets are going pretty slow for a New Year's Eve show. I think there's a multitude of reasons why, not just one. So I think, the whole, I think I do think this whole, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think the whole exhibition boxing thing has kind of run its course. Yes. They made Jake Paul and Mike Tyson a pro fight, which I think actually significantly made much more interest in it. Should have made the fight regardless, exhibition or pro, but nonetheless. I do think that, though, that this one was probably the most promoted and got the most I'll say tension outside Japan.
Mhm.
Mayweather tension did.
Yes, that would be correct. But,
that was probably all Fan Mio that was doing all the promotion and all that stuff.
mhm. Yeah, and also the best part is they don't have to pay Garcia.
Well, I don't know. Listen, if he made those appearances, I'm pretty sure he got paid for those appearances.
I'm talking about the actual fight itself.
Oh yeah.
And to be blunt, I don't think he's going to fight in RIZIN for a very simple reason. His suspension's up in April. If they say they're going to do it in the spring, they're not going to do it at RIZIN 50. Garcia's going to go back to boxing come, May, June, July, something like that, or 25.
Yeah. There was also the weird thing between him and Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya said that he has full ownership of his fights or something.
Yeah, because he Golden Boy is Garcia's promoter.
Okay. I don't know
they've been fighting on and off for years about that. I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, I don't know what that whole thing is. I don't know if that would have, stopped things. I've heard that there was a lot of lawyers and things involved with boxing contracts.
It's messy.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's messy. That's why so many of these damn super fights never get made in boxing, but that's a story for another day.
That's why we waited over a decade for Mayweather Pacquiao.
Yeah, and then we finally got a damn undisputed world heavyweight title fight.
Yeah.
In 25 years, and there was a lot going into that.
Yeah. So first off, I'll get the banner up. Poster check. What do you think about this poster? This aesthetic of this. Of RIZIN Bangaichi.
It's just okay. It doesn't. I mean, it's fine. It just doesn't really pop to me. But maybe you'll disagree.
I like the wanted poster aesthetic of it. Kind of like I think this fits in with a breaking down type thing, which is kind of what this whole thing is. Kind of like the Outlaws. They're not all outlaws of MMA, but a lot of them are. A few of them have connections to breaking down. These are like the scummy breaking down fighters, the tattooed Yakuza people. These are actual people who have
credentials.
Actual credentials. So they're not, but I think I like the look of it. It's again. I think it has character behind it. I think it's a very interesting poster. Is it one of the best? No, but I think for this portion, it fits. I think
it fits. I mean, I've seen a bunch of these types before, so it's fine, but it's nothing that pops out. That's all.
Yeah. The one thing I'm going to mention is, there's been a lot of talks about women's division in RIZIN right now, kind of dead for the most part. I don't know. Yeah. I wish we got one of the breaking down women on this. Maybe Chan Yota. I don't know what the
I know who she is for sure.
But that would have been imagine Chan Yota. This is how she gets on a RIZIN show through this way.
That would have been interesting. I actually know who she is because I do try to follow breaking down as much as I can.
Tyson Nam got knocked out in his fight.
I did, and I saw that actually one of the fighters. Oh my god, the one fight in Usami, I think he KO'd Kizumon Saiga. Actually,
yeah, Hosokawa.
It's Issa Hosokawa. Yeah, that's right, he did. So we can discuss it, but breaking down is good. Has some interesting fighters. But yeah, overall, I mean, it fits. But
it seems to be that breaking down has become kind of almost deep in a way.
It has,
where people can get a start to their career, or people that are old can get their names still in there. Who's a French fighter? Cyril
Abidi.
Yes, got his name back on breaking down, getting the shit kicked out of him by Anpo. Well.
And also, you may not recognize this name, but Juan Landada former strawweight title challenger. I believe it was strawweight against Koki Kameda a long time ago. I think that was 2006.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got a question right off the bat from Off. How you doing, Off? Is that K1 guy fighting Anpo good?
That's a complicated answer.
I mean, he's good for is he cruiserweight? Is he cruiserweight or heavyweight?
Yes, he's a former K1 cruiser champion. He's fine, but he has a lot of flaws.
We're gonna get more into it when we talk about the fight off because Sina has a very interesting resume, I'll say.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly with him.
Mildly. Yeah, personality wise and in the ring wise, he is very shall we say controversial, or what's the I don't know, what's not controversial, what's another word for him?
Out there.
Out there, yeah. So we can start talking about
unorthodox.
Unorthodox. That's what I was thinking of. Trying to think of unorthodox. So we can start with this the first portion of the card, the first fight.
Or as the Japanese would say, Mizurashi. Rare.
We're gonna start with an MMA match, nonetheless. Hiroto Gomio, who's from JTT, taking on Coach Playboy Okada. Before we get into anything, I have to read Playboy's of some of his
RIZIN bio.
Yes, and this is what he has told RIZIN. He says that he lists womanizing as both his hobby and special skill, and he also appeared on a romantic reality drama called "I Want to Fall in Love with 18+ People." He is an MMA fighter. Let's not beat around the bush. He is an MMA fighter. He fought in Deep, won his first fight. It's actually, you can see it on Deep's YouTube channel. It's available free.
Was it amateur or was it amateur or pro?
It was amateur. I think all fights in Deep are amateur, unless noted. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Knocked out his opponent, and Gomio also a regular in Deep as well. Kind of was maybe at one point he was kind of, I guess, almost in the position that Akimoto's in now. Where he was kind of like the boy, but then he lost, got knocked out by Karate Kinoshita, and then lost to Kaito in a close fight. So,
and then he beat that one, and he beat that Korean earlier this month. Last month or earlier this month in Deep?
I think it was 2 months ago. Was it 2 months
2 months ago?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can segue off that. Gomio, I believe he's a judo guy, but in his last fight, he primarily was striking, and he, as a southpaw, he looked pretty good on his feet, honestly.
Oh no, yeah, he uses his striking I think 90% of the time. I have not seen him really use any high level grappling in his fights.
Okay.
Yep.
He's going to have to get this fight to the ground because Koki Okada is a former K1 fighter, K1 World Grand Prix fighter. I don't remember what his record is, but from what I remember seeing of him, pretty solid. Not great, but better than your typical MMA striking. So if I'm Gomio, I would definitely get this fight to the ground if I could. But I have a feeling based on his history, he won't.
Oh, so wait, so Koki was in a K1?
I'm positive he was. I'm positive if his Tapology page is correct, he was in K1.
Okay. Now made the full transition to MMA. So go ahead.
Like I said, you can look it up real quick, but I'm positive.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. So obviously one guy has more experience, Gomi, than the other in full-on MMA. I'm assuming that they're doing 5 minutes, 3 rounds for this fight, unless they're doing something different. There's only one MMA fight that they're fudging the rules around with, but
yes.
I'm assuming that there's regular RIZIN rules for this. So, and I'm assuming this is all going to be in the ring. I don't think they're doing
a cage.
I don't think so. I
No, I
mean,
think it's all. I think it's all in the ring. My guess is that they would have an intermission to like change the sponsors and stuff or whatever on the canvas of the ring.
gotcha. So, what are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to come out in the first Mikuru versus Ren match?
I'm gonna go with Gomyo by submission. I think he'll actually fight smart for a change and use his experience to get this guy on the ground and drown him.
Yeah. I want to say Gomyo, but I've not been impressed. I have not been impressed. He's kind of, he's losing a lot of luster for me, and I feel bad because I did put him down as like top 10 MMA fighters that from Japan that you should pay attention to. Yeah, I'm starting to slowly lose that. I'm starting to slowly lose that confidence in him.
I gotcha.
I have to say, I'm gonna have to pick Okada for this. I think he's an incredibly aggressive fighter. I think I love his attitude. He doesn't fight like a martial artist. He fights very, I want to say dirty, but very rough. That makes sense. So here's the thing: like Gomyo is JTT guy. He's gonna be more polished. He'll look more professional. If that makes sense. But I think Okada. I think the guys that Gomyo has struggled against have been strikers mainly, and that's what Okada's bread and butter is. That's what he's great at, and that's what I think that I think Okada is gonna TKO Gomyo. I'll say second round.
I'm going to go with second round with Gomyo.
Oh, nice. By the way, Josh, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Thank you for always tuning in.
Happy holidays to y'all.
And P says we need a flying cage. Do you think they maybe try to give that breaking down aesthetic? Maybe they'll do a cage. They're just not telling us. They're just not.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, that I would love to see that, but I don't think so.
Remember for Bellator, the Super RIZIN Bellator thing where they had the cage and then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. I mean, because breaking down, as you said, is in a cage, but we'll see. I'm fine either way.
I personally want a ring. That's just me. So this one, Hyuma Yasui taking on, and I have no idea why he's going by Kurobarakun, Hiraki Suzuki. Do you know what that means, Kurobarakun?
I didn't look it up, honestly.
It literally means black rose. It just means black rose. So
because Kurai is black. Because Kurai is black in Japanese.
And Bara is I believe is rose.
Hana's rose, but I think there's multiple.
Is that for a specific type of rose? I know Hana. Is that for a specific type of rose? I know
maybe it's just flower, or maybe Hana's just flower. Rose, I'm not 100% sure now that you mention it.
But for some reason, yeah, he's just going by. I don't know why. Like, I'll show you. Like right here. Yeah, he's going by the team name for his. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense anyway. But this guy, I've heard he doesn't make a lot of sense anyway, from what I've heard.
He really doesn't.
So, Grappler Yasui, who I think is about 21, 22, taking on Suzuki. Pure striker, even though he fights at Banzai. And I think 40. He might be 4-0.
He is 40.
Okay.
He's 40. And I believe Hyuma Yasui is 3-0.
He's undefeated deep. I think he's gotten all finishes by grappling.
Yeah, his most recent fight, his armbar in a minute was really impressive. He's got really slick submissions.
So this is a case of, this is stylistic, this is generational, this is style. Yeah. So what do you think about this fight?
I'm going to go with Yasui. I do think he'll be able to get him down and submit him. Because you saw a lesser grappler, Hyuma Akimoto, dominate Suzuki. But if he can't get the takedown, then Suzuki finishes him on the feet.
So
I don't think there's that. I don't think there's much to say on this one. It's classic grappler striker.
I usually like to err towards the side of a grappler.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, if Suzuki, okay, I know that he got outstruck by Akimoto, but
And out grappled.
out-grappled, but like not in danger of being anywhere near,
No.
nowhere near being not being submitted. He was nowhere
No.
being finished. The thing is that also is that Yasui has not fought somebody who's as good. Here's like as well. I'm reminded of the Ashita fight that Suzuki was in, and Ashita tried grappling, fucking failed him. Trying to think who else has Suzuki fought. Okay, he fought Yaman, a striker.
Kisuke Okada.
We're not.
I know, but you're asking who he fought.
Yeah. Let me look up if anybody else has he fought with that are like exceptional strikers, and I believe Ashita would be the only one.
Or you mean grapplers?
Nishitani he fought, but defeated. Lost to Hiramoto. Lost to Shoji, who's not. Oh no, he beat Shoji, who's not a grappler. Lost to Hagiwara, who's certainly not a grappler. And Jin Aoi, who's kind of an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Man, we're going to be disagreeing on this. I don't know. I think Suzuki is going to be able to knock out this kid.
Very possible.
Especially when grapplers are not tested against strikers, that's when they become, that's when it's bad.
Complacent?
Very good. But like, I guess not knowing how to take a punch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you can do it in sparring, but it's a completely different thing in a fight.
Yes. I'm sorry. He actually hasn't finished all of his fights. Yes, Sue, I stand corrected on that. Only one's gone to submission. Only one's gone to decision. But yeah, that's the thing. He has one. He hasn't. He's only seen the third. No, wait, that's a deep thing. So it's second round. So that's the other thing. If this is regular RIZIN rules, 3 rounds. So what happens once he gets into the third round?
He's gonna be tested. He's gonna be tested in this fight. I mean, Suzuki may be 4-5, but he's not a slouch. I don't think.
Yeah. There's a difference between a grappler like Satoshi, who I'm like, okay, I could look at him and be like, this guy's grappling is so good, he can weather the storm. But I don't know if Yasui has it been tested like that. I don't think he has really.
He hasn't, but I have faith in the kid, but we'll see.
So yeah, I'm gonna pick a Suzuki TKO third round.
I'm gonna go Yasui submission 2.
But we're gonna be getting into the should I say weird portion? I won't say weird portion, but this is where RIZIN Bangaichi takes a little bit of a weird turn. We're gonna start off with a regular kickboxing fight. I'll get the thing up here. YURA versus Taio Asahisa.
Yes.
So, by the way, if you go on Tapology, apart from the fact that Tapology has a picture of me that I do not like, they also have the wrong YURA on there as well. So actually, no, I take it back. They don't have the wrong YURA, but they have they made a new YURA. So it's correct, but you can find YURA on there. You just have to look up the Fight Club 2, where he fought Cerberus, or when he fought Negi Majin in Rise.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know you're a little bit familiar with Asahisa, Mike.
Yes.
So I want you to tell me about Asahisa since he's from K1.
He's a former K1 champion in his weight. His base is karate. I don't remember if it's Koyokushin, but he does a lot of crazy kicks. He's very unorthodox, and I believe he's 19-9-1. He's a very good fighter, but I don't think he's fought. Maybe it's been a year at least. So he might be rusty, and he's fighting a guy who has a very solid technical base in YURA. So it's a really nice contrast in styles.
Mm-hmm. Did you get to see any of YURA's
fights?
Yeah.
Yes. I did. Like I said, he's just technically very solid. He can punch. And beating Cerberus Kimura, that's a good win.
Oh, that's a great win. And by the way, that was from the Fight Club 2 show that is nobody can find. It is no, I think there's no video of it ever since Kimura got arrested and he was supposed to be on that show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a story for another day.
Some other interesting things about YURA as well. You know that he's Hafu? Hafu. He's half Russian, half Japanese.
Interesting. Yeah, I did not know that.
Let me double check. Yes, half Japanese and half Russian.
Wow.
And he was in All Japan Junior Festival. And he's from Miyazaki and won a bunch of the kick things there as well. Yeah, I mean, listen, this guy's no slouch. He's fought on Rise, like you said. Beat Kimura, not Minoru Kimura, the other one, Sota Kimura, and he's taking on. Is it fair to say that Asahisa is a vet? He's still young though, but
I think he's mid-20s. I want to say, and he's been around forever. He's been around forever in K1.
How about the chin wise? I don't how is he, because he fought Pettis and he didn't. Did he get knocked down by Pettis? I don't know if you ever seen those fights by Pettis.
I don't know. I don't remember, honestly, but I know Asahisa. I don't recall if Asahisa has been stopped. It might have been on a cut, but from what I remember, he's got a pretty good chin.
Also, just random connection. He fought Tenshin and Ren back when there was I guess the All Japan Koshin whatever tournament as well, and he lost to both of them. So but that's that's amateur stuff. This is a very tough fight. I really think this is a tough fight to really come down to it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is the best fight on this card, on this part of the card.
How dare you? How dare you? We all know the best fight, which we'll get into. But the most high technical fight, maybe kickboxing, maybe.
I think it's the best fight in the card, but okay. I like kickboxing, so there you go.
So I'm assuming it's 3x3 rounds, all that shit. Mm-hmm. So
yes,
So I'm gonna let you pick first. Who do you think is gonna win this one?
I'm gonna go with Asahisa by decision.
I swear to God, I am not being contrarian, but I watched. I was able to find a what do you call it? Slide reel of with YURA against Kota, against Kimura. I said Kota, Sota. I meant to say Sota Kimura. And we watched this fight of Negi Majin. Now Negi Majin is not a good fighter by any means in the Rise.
No, he's not.
He got knocked down, but he managed to knock down Negi Majin back twice. So yeah, I think YURA is actually. I think he's underrated. To me, he's an underrated boxing talent. Somebody who I want to see more of. I'm going to pick him. I think it's going to go to decision, though. I think they're both very technical, and likely that we're not going to see a knockout by either one of these.
I doubt it too. I just think that Asahisa's awkward karate style will be the difference here.
Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know what's been considered. What is fair to say? What would you say is the best base for kickboxing? What to you is?
I think it's Muay Thai.
So, is that if they allow elbows or not allow elbows?
No, even without elbows, I think you have a base of knees and punches where even without the clinch or the elbows, you can still do a ton.
Remember, K1 had to change their rules
because of semi-shilt.
No, was it Bukaw? Because
it might have been both, actually. Now that I think about it,
but, the no clinching rule.
Which they had to be. I think they allow. I think they changed it from. I think they changed it to one. Was it one technique in the clinch and then no clinch at some point?
Yeah,
that might have been it.
Something like that. I got it. It's been so long. It's been
yes.
We have a question from our good friend Falling Star. Thank you so much, as always, Falling Star, for tuning in. What are your men's thoughts on Kai's UFC defeat? I'll let you go, Mike.
Well,
I have a conspiracy theory about that fight, but you go ahead.
Not the result we wanted, but I don't think Kai embarrassed himself. It's just that he was Kai Asakura. His grappling is not up to snuff. We kind of knew that.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, once it went to the ground, boom, over.
My big conspiracy theory is that Pantoja let that first round go, just to kind of see what Kai was made of. And as soon as he was able to feel out the first 5 minutes that this guy had nothing, that's when he was like, okay, I know what to do. As for Kai, listen, I don't think you look bad. There's no shame in being defeated by the best flyweight in the world right now.
He's a good fighter, just not a great fighter.
Yeah. I'm curious to know how he does against other people in UFC at this point. That to me is a question. And if he stays at flyweights or goes the bantamweights.
Yes, I do wonder if that cut hurt him. It makes you wonder, considering.
I don't think he did. He seemed to have energy. He seemed to have whatever in his enough stamina in his fight. It seemed like, which is why it would have been great to see how see go into championship rounds. See okay, is he getting tired? Is he getting exhausted? But at least from round one and some of round two, he seemed to not be getting tired, exhausted. I mean, this is flyweight has no contenders, so that's why they got Kai. Also, UFC is making inroads in Japan as well, so they obviously got the biggest star in RIZIN. So let's see.
But also I will say this, Andrew. Sorry, this was not the result UFC needed at all.
No, I'll tell you what the result. It's not the result that RIZIN needed. I think it's more RIZIN that they didn't need that result. UFC doesn't matter. I know what you mean, because if they're going to go into Japan, they got, what? They're going to do whatever. It doesn't matter. They're going to still do a show in Japan. They'll have Tyra, maybe Saruya, Kai on it. So it doesn't matter. But to me, RIZIN is the one who looked bad because of how much they promoted and put out there that we want Kai to go at UFC and all this stuff. And, if you're like a fan who's never seen RIZIN before, you're watching ESPN or you see the clips of ESPN or before the BTR, you see him beat
Latoya.
Yeah, all these people. And now you see what happened in basically in two-ish rounds. And you're like, oh, this guy's just fought bums. That's what I'm thinking.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far, but I see what you're saying.
I'm talking about the casual average UFC viewer who never know RIZIN.
Some will, some won't. I don't think it was bad for RIZIN. When I go back to my thing about UFC, Pantoja is a great fighter. He doesn't draw a dime.
Oh, of course not. No, but
that's
kind of like a good thing. Now UFC doesn't need to draw because they just get that ESPN money.
Governments and the government money and all that jazz, like site fees and stuff.
Which is good because now that was the whole thing about the flyweights during DJ's time, is that they weren't selling tickets, they weren't getting ratings. So
Yes.
P kind of sees it my way. The casual UFC viewer is a dumbass zoomer who thinks he's a bum. That's what they're going to think. They're just going to think, they see this one fight and they're like, oh, this guy's not good at all. Pantoja doesn't. I don't want to say that Pantoja doesn't finish people, but his whole thing is that he can weather 5 storms and break people's will and come forward no matter what. So, and the fact that he finished this guy who supposedly was this big, champion in Japan, all that stuff, comes over and gets finished by round 2. So that's why I think it hurts RIZIN because
I don't, but to each their own.
Off says I saw Minoru training with Ensign. Maybe he's going to do some MMA. Well, hopefully it goes better than his first time in MMA. The other thing is, so yes, he's been released from prison, or he's been released.
Suspended
He's
sentence,
no longer
right?
under. So I believe he cannot be arrested or commit crimes for 3 years, and if he does, he goes to jail. So he better be on his best behavior. I hear he's not a smart guy. I hear he's got like all the brains are in his hands. Nothing up here. That's how I've heard it described as. So,
That's unfortunate.
Maybe we'll get Anpo versus Kimura, which I'm sure would have been a fight for New Year's Eve at this point.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but if he stays clean, RIZIN will use him because he's a name.
Oh yeah, all that whole thing. Yeah, I forgot about that. If he stays clean. Moving on, this is the weird MMA fight that I was referring to before. We got Daichi Tomizawa making his MMA debut. K1 kickboxer taking on Kota Miura, who I thought was like not doing this shit anymore. I thought he's just being a model, whatever, in Thailand or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, so I mean, Tomozawa was already on a RIZIN show. He got destroyed by Shinotsuka when Shinotsuka made his kickboxing debut in RIZIN. Any thoughts on this fight?
Well, one, Kota hasn't fought in a year. I don't know how hard he's been training, as you alluded to with his foray in Thailand.
He's been fighting training. Don't forget, they made this whole thing like last minute. So yeah. Was he just like casually training or like in what's in training? Right.
And then Tomizawa, I'm assuming he was training for like breaking down and stuff. So I mean, it's a striker versus grappler. So if it stays standing, once again, Tomizawa, if Miura gets it to the ground, Miura wins.
So, we have seen how Miura does against people who are strikers in MMA.
Who have takedown defense.
Not even takedown defense, but just basic know how to get up, like Cozy and Yaman. And they both fucked them up pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Tomizawa on this. It's the fact that this card was short notice. The fight probably was short notice as well. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how much Kota's been seriously training. I don't feel like it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But once again, we'll see.
I think Tomizawa finishes in round 1.
I think Kota wins round 1. That's the mission.
You think Kota's gonna win?
I do.
Really? You think he's gonna submit him?
I do.
How do you think he submits him?
Armbar.
Interesting. I wonder though if Tomizawa. I haven't been able to find out if he's done any MMA training. But I mean, like, if he accepted this fight under these conditions, I have to believe that he has something.
You would think, but I mean, Kota's got some experience. I mean, it's not great, but it's something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess Kota's going to kind of become a staple for New Year's Eve at this point. He will not fight for like an entire year, and then when New Year's come around, they're going to get him. They get to say that King Kazu's son is on New Year's, and maybe that sells some tickets as well. Maybe I get some Thai people there. Maybe I'll get some of the Thais to come over
or buy pay-per-views.
Oh yeah, that too as well. Yes. Next fight, Aoi Noda taking on Tatsuki Shinotsuka. Open finger glove kick boxing rules. So yeah, this is a mismatch.
It's a mismatch. Yeah, it's a mismatch. But to be fair, I'm sure the original plan was supposed to be Ryota Ihara, the breaking down champion. Yeah.
Really?
At this weight, I'm positive that would have been the fight, but I think he's injured. So Noda is essentially the replacement.
I wrote for MMA Sucker that I was hoping that they would do Shinotsuka versus Dodson for the bare knuckle title at this point.
Probably too short a notice, but
yes. I wonder though if since they weren't going to do this breaking down thing, I wonder if that would have could have made it on its way here. Probably not, because it looked like they had the main portion of the card already like decided, and there's no bare knuckle on. I'm surprised there's not even one bare knuckle. So
right, I am too. But no, I was going to say, but as I said, Noda's been on Breaking Down, so it made sense for him to be the replacement on short notice.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Even if it was not short notice, I'm picking Shinotsuka. Like,
Shinotsuka is going to kick his ass.
I think Noda could train for 5 years and he'll still lose to Shinosuke.
Yeah.
I think
he's 6-7-1.
Yeah. What do you think? First round, second round, win?
I'd go first round. Shinotsuka is actually he's very good technically. He's really fast, but above all, two things: that guy can punch like hell, and he's just got freaking swagger and charisma, dude.
Oh
like,
yeah,
he is exciting as hell to watch.
I hope we get. I don't know what the status is with RIZIN and Bare Knuckle, but if there is another bare knuckle fight down the line, I really do hope that he's a contender for Dodson, because there's like nobody else for Dodson at this point except for that one guy who we went to a draw with, I think.
I know who you're talking about, but I mean, I will say about bare knuckle, my wife and I watched that recently. It was fun, but let's just say the quality of fighting wasn't great.
Oh, that's fine. I'm fine with that. It was an
I am too. Oh, I'm fine. It was just an observation.
We got a question from Falling Star. You saw Bar's IG post of the Korean Zombie. Yes, I did. Do you feel Bar will offer a shit ton of money to the Zombie to get at the Korean market in the form of an exhibition? As far as I know, Korean Zombie is done with MMA. He is just trained. He has the Korean Zombie camp, whatever. Yeah, he is done with MMA. He's not training anymore. I mean, he's not training to compete anymore. So no. I don't think he's going to do any sort of exhibition.
But I do think that RIZIN partnering with him to maybe make inroads in Korea is a really smart move.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. So they should still keep the thing with Road.
Oh,
By the way, Road show this week. Sol Kim versus Jiyoung Yang.
That's a good one.
I cannot wait to see that fight. I don't know how to watch it though. But
when is it?
I think it's Saturday.
Tomorrow.
There's also Black Combat versus Deep as well.
Yes.
Which I have no idea how to watch live. I watch those.
Oh yeah, and then there's the knockout show on December 30th.
Oh, I don't give a shit about that because there's no way I can watch it like live.
Right. But the reason I mentioned it is Kazuma Kuramoto's fighting.
Oh yes, the whole KO climax thing, stealing the
unlimited. The unlimited rules.
I'll see that when it gets uploaded to YouTube eventually. But Black Combat, Rocky Martinez is on it. He's
at light heavyweight, right?
Yeah, he looks slim, and we got Juri Ohara also on there as well. I don't know who he's taking on, and then Rock Lee, Seigo Yamamoto. Man, that guy, I don't know who that guy is. Who that guy is blowing, but my God, like he must know the guy. He must know what's his name, Godfather Black, who runs Black Combat, because he gets on all those Black Combat shows. And Oshima apparently said that the most money she ever got paid for a fight was when she fought in Black Combat. So
I can't imagine that if that guy makes a profit off those shows, I'd be shocked.
Oh, but if he doesn't need to, who the fuck cares?
I know. God bless him. More.
Well, from the shows that I watch, from the fights I watch, they seem pretty crowded. Those and apparently they also show them in movie theaters as well.
Ooh, very nice.
That's what Charlie told me.
Cool, very nice.
But yeah, there's no reason. Maybe he'll get some. Maybe they'll get some people from Korean Zombies camp to fight in RIZIN. I'll be honest, I don't know that. See, the Korean MMA scene is like weird because all I know is the Road FC Gym and the other one. What's the other big one?
Team Mad?
Team Mad, yeah. I just assume that everybody is from one of those teams, and there's like no other teams. But now we got Korean Zombies team, so yeah, maybe they'll be able to get someone from there to fight on a RIZIN show. Sorry, just checking what's next. Okay. Next, we were talking a little bit about this before. Issa Hosokawa taking on Show Patrick Usami, open finger glove kickboxing. By the way, did you see the weight this is at?
No, I did not.
77 kilos. So it's
really
no weight cuts for either of these gentlemen.
Because that's interesting because Sho just fought a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and he's a lightweight, but he had to have gained a bunch of he had to have gained that weight back, obviously.
Yeah. Probably also good because remember he was supposed to be on Road to UFC and he died like trying to make like featherweight or something.
Yes, that guy ain't a featherweight.
So I saw that fight he lost, or I should say lost to Yamato.
Did he beat Yamato Nishikawa?
Yeah, I was there for that fight. He didn't lose. I have no idea what how the judges thought that he lost that Nishikawa won that fight. But nonetheless, yeah, he's back. He's on this card. Welterweight, no weight cut. Well, okay, I won't say that Hosokawa is a bad opponent, but I don't give the poor guy any chance.
I'm not like his biography. I tried looking up. I think he did fight. I mean, obviously breaking down fighter. I think he got knocked out by YURA. I think.
He didn't get knocked out, but he fought him. He fought him.
Okay.
He lost.
Okay. I thought he maybe got dropped. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But I don't know really. The biography on the RIZIN site was kind of weird. I wasn't 100% sure.
And he like highlights like, okay, he had a fight with Kizumon Saiga and
he knocked out Saiga so he can punch a little bit.
Yeah.
But Usami's got such good boxing that I think Usami's just gonna run right through him.
Oh yeah. Welterweight, no weight cut. A nice fat plump Usami is gonna KO this. He's gonna KO this guy in the first round, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, Sho has to work on his grappling, but fortunately for him, it's not MMA.
Yeah, thank God he doesn't have to worry about it with this fight. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. He does have a back. He does have a little. He fought an outsider, and he was in one of the breaking down tournaments as well. So he does have a. He's not a pushover, but he's a pushover relative to Usami, unfortunately.
Yeah, in theory, anyway.
Yeah, I don't give him a big. I don't give a stone's throw. No chance in hell. Rusty
style.
So thank you so much for tuning in. Happy New Year to you as well. Merry Christmas as well, or whatever.
Happy New Year's.
Man, so this is what it comes down to. The real main event of RIZIN 49 Decade. Rukiya Anpo versus Sina Karimian. Man, what do you think about this shit, man, when it was announced? I saw someone posted in the Discord. I thought somebody because remember they posted Ren
posted it.
Yes, Ren posted it. So you're thinking like, okay, this guy's just full of shit. Then also the Rukiya versus Ren thing as well, which was badly photoshopped, but also Ren's injured. So I was like, okay, that's bullshit. And I saw this, I was like, oh no, it's all a fucking joke. And then I saw on RIZIN's thing, I was like, oh wait, no, it's not a joke. Man, what do you think about this? We were asked about Sina before. You want to talk? Let's talk about Sina.
First off, this is classic Japanese matchmaking for New Year's Eve. This is classic. It's hilarious. I mean, this isn't Butterbean versus Genki Sudo, but it's still absurd.
Oh, it is. It is.
With Sina Karimian, he's a former K1 Cruiserweight champion. I want to say he's like 16-4-1 or something like that, roughly.
Well, like two no contests back-to-back.
Yes, because him and the Grizzly Bear, Claudio Estrate, can't stop fouling each other.
I love that. Is my favorite. Listen, we had Tenshin versus Takaru a few years ago. We now have Takaru versus the Ties and one. We got Masaki Norie versus one booking. My favorite feud is Sina versus Claudio Estrade. I just love the fact that these two their fights just never go like. Yeah. So the first one was a no contest, right? Was that?
Yeah, I think because I think wasn't Sina
DQ?
disqualified?
Okay, yeah, that was a DQ. Then the second one they had was the no contest from the headbutt, I think, right?
I think so. And then, or wasn't there like a punch behind the head too?
There probably was. There's always a punch behind the head. And then also Estrade. I don't. Did you see that K1 Bulgaria Romania show that was on Fights?
No, I didn't. But didn't he walk out of the ring after not liking the refereeing?
Yeah, he did not like the decision. Oh no,
Okay.
he didn't like the decision. It was going to go to extension rounds. So
And he walked out of the ring.
And he walked out the ring. So they just declared his opponent the winner. It was a terrible show. The production was awful. God bless Michael Schiavello and Sina. Sina's commentary was some of the most awful commentary I've ever heard from a fighter. I love half the time he just says this guy's very technical. Let's just talk about his background as well. You know, he's Iranian. I don't know how did he get to Japan? Do you know the story of how he got to Japan?
I'm not 100% sure, but he trained at Power of Dream.
That's Sapporo, right?
I think it is, but he also Yoshiki Takei came from that gym. I want to say Singhart Jadeep actually trained at that gym a long time ago.
Well, unless this is another, so it could be like a Power Usher thing where like, oh, because the Power Dream one I'm thinking of is the one that Yamamoto, what's his name, the young kid,
Kenichi Yamamoto's son Sora.
Yeah, Sora, yes. So that's the Power Dream I'm thinking of. That's in Sapporo. But yeah, he's Iranian. He's lived in Japan. He's been in Japan pre-pandemic because I remember he was on the on the K Festa show that was airing right when the pandemic was happening in Japan. And I'm learning from kickboxing fans that like nobody likes this guy. People think he's a cheater. People think he's a crybaby. He is hated among so many kickboxing fans.
Yes,
but you need somebody like that. You kind of
yes, you do. Like the opposite of Mahmoud Satari.
Yeah. Who, by the way, I don't know what Mahmoud Satari is pissed off about something. He was supposed to be on this show, on this RIZIN show. They told him, "Oh, we don't have anybody in your weight class." And then I wonder if he got angry because they're like, "Oh, why did you pick me for this?" You know?
Yeah, because they want to give Anpo an opponent he can actually beat.
Can he?
I think
he has experience with 100 kilogram plus guys like Sidario. I know he beat Sidario, but like,
and Cyril Abidi.
Sorry,
and Cyril Abidi.
Yeah, but Cyril Abidi was like old as fuck though.
Oh, I know he was, but I'm just saying like the weight's there.
Well, Sina is like an actual. Okay, again, this is not kickboxing also as well. This is
it's boxing.
Yeah. And they're doing the same rounds, I think, as the Garcia one, which is
No, I think this one's 6 rounds of 2 minutes. I think it is.
Okay, gotcha.
So I thought that one was supposed to be 2 of 8, 2 minute round, 8 2-minute rounds for Garcia.
But this is not also an exhibition fight as well. This is like, I guess,
it's an exhibition and it isn't.
It's an exhibition. I like that exhibition. Yeah. Hey, Ben Askren, well, saw your amazing win you had. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Sean Moody, Manuel Ram 2005. Who am I taking? Luke Leslie or Cody Jerome? Who's that? Shorty Torres. Yeah, he will. We're not talking about him. Well, that'll be tomorrow. He says just throw a rabbit punch at Cena. That's true.
Yeah. Or he pretends.
Oh yeah. So what is the on and off? Oh, by the way, did you see the press conferences between these two?
I did with him. Destroying the cardboard cutout. I kind of laughed at that.
But also, did you see that Anpo was wearing like the VR sunglasses while like I don't know if he was in his car or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Anpo wasn't taking this guy seriously at all.
Oh, okay. Okay. Isha. Oh, I call him Isha. Sean Moody. Isha and I are good friends. Hoping we could collab one day again. But yeah, I call him Isha. What was I gonna say? So yeah, are you happy though with them picking Sina? Do you think? Because here's the thing. So obviously can't do Ren. Couldn't do Kimura. There was some talk about maybe doing Buakaw rematch.
Yeah, that's what I had initially thought.
He fought last week, I think.
Yeah, but since when does that stop Buakaw from fighting?
I know. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of like who else. I saw. So go ahead.
I know. If you're trying, maybe this was just me spitballing, but I know it'd be a mismatch as hell. But Hagiwara.
I see that, but I also don't.
Yeah.
I definitely mismatch.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. But since when does that stop New Year's Eve booking?
I'm trying to think. Like, there's really. I don't want to say it's not that there's nobody. What do you think if they pick Satari? What if they pick Satari for this?
If it had been Satari, I wouldn't like Ampo's chances because Satari is a much better fighter than Karimian is. As you saw in Genryu, I know it was Genryujima, but the dude actually takes his craft seriously and is a freaking professional.
Oh man. Yeah, there's really. I don't want to say there's nobody else. This is kind of like thinking outside the box, but like this is like 4D brain thinking outside the box. You know any killers from the Philippines that fight? Do we count Manny Pacquiao? No. I don't know. Really, no one really right now. For any MMA or boxing, that I can think of.
Are you talking about Are you talking about for this fight?
Well, I guess for this fight as well. Is there anybody from the Philippines?
The only relevant Filipino fighter I can think of right now is Melvin Jerusalem. He's the IBF champion at 105 pounds.
Question: What weight is Sean Garcia at?
I want to say it was like welter. Was it junior welter or welter or something like that? I could be wrong. It could be small. I think he's smaller than his brother. I legit don't remember.
Okay, I was gonna say, what happened if they got Sean Garcia instead of Sina?
Probably would have been a size mismatch.
Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, I don't know who else. This is kind of like where the fuck thinking. So yeah, okay, prediction. Who do you think?
I'm gonna go with Anpo by decision.
Really? Okay. There's no kicks. You think you could just win based on punching?
I do because Sina Karimian is slower than a freaking tortoise. If you've actually watched him fight, his stand up is so freaking stiff, and it looks like he barely puts his weight behind his punches. It looks like he's always just like throwing arm punches.
Okay, I had to look up his record. So, let's see. So Carlos Budayo, this was back in 22. He won because he got due to DQ, hit to the back of the head. He lost to Estrade at the Rebirth show.
Mm-hmm.
That was by decision.
Yes.
He then got knocked out by yes, and then Liu Sei, the Chinese kickboxer, was basically destroyed him. I think there was a bunch of shenanigans that happened in that fight as well. Then he had the rematch with Estrade, which was a no contest. And so, but Estrade, they put forward. And then Daichi Kimura from the most recent show was a low blow no contest as well. So he's got a fucking funny record. He's got a wonky record.
Yeah, he does.
You know, I'm gonna pick Anpo. You know, the credit to Anpo. He's fighting guys at 100 kilograms more so than he should. And God bless him. I hope the gloves are not, or like 14 ounce. I think that they think Zach in our Discord said 14 ounces.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Good on him. Good on him. And Combat Sports Today is here. Love you guys. Thank you for all the coverage you do for everything.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys
Guys
still
are
cover
awesome.
wrestling. Like
Yeah.
you post. Sorry, Mike.
I was going to say Combat Sports is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Anpo. Do you think there's any chance that he can knock out or get 3 or knock down Sina?
Yeah, I do actually, because Anpo can punch, and 2, Sina is so stiff and upright. He holds his chin up all the time. You can hit him at will.
Oh yeah, would you say he's a glass cannon?
I do. He doesn't have the best chin, but his lack of defense and just how slow he is.
Mm-hmm. What
And Ampo,
you?
you can say a lot. You can say what you want about Ampo. He's really fast.
Oh yeah. What do you think what shenanigans will happen in this fight?
Probably rabbit punching, because that's typical in boxing. Probably some shit with like the punches to the liver. Probably low blows. You name it. It's going to be everything. Probably Cena will probably throw some headbutts or elbows too.
What are the odds that you think Cena throws a kick just out of
the blue? There's a fair chance. There's that he's a loose cannon.
He's a kickboxer. He's taking this fight at short notice. There needs to be time to kind of like you have to de-kickbox yourself. Anpo already has that experience. He was training for the Garcia thing. He had the Pacquiao thing. So I'm pretty sure he knows that he can kind of like not the muscle memory a kick, but can Cena do that? Either intentionally or unintentionally. Do you think he'll throw a kick?
No, because he's not disciplined enough.
No, I mean, do you think Cena will throw a kick?
Yes, absolutely. He's not disciplined enough to stay within the rule set. He'll go back to who he is.
Okay, I'm gonna say that Cena throws one kick.
Mm-hmm. He'll try a spinning kick. Watch him try to throw a spinning back fist too.
So yeah, that's not allowed. Like this is basically boxing rules, I think, right?
It is.
Okay, gotcha.
I think.
So before we talk about some other nonsense, I just want to ask you, Mike, what? Did I delete that? Oh, well, what fights are? Well, you kind of said before, but what are the fights that you're looking forward to the most on this portion?
It's YURA versus Asahisa. That's gonna be a phenomenal fight. Just two excellent kickboxers.
Listen, I'm sorry, but Anpo versus Sina, like
it's amusing.
It's at the price of admission. Like if this was the only fight on this portion, I'd be like, you have me sold. This is gonna be fucking amazing. It could be so bad it's good, and it could be so good it's actually good. Yeah,
it could. When Cena, you did never know what with Sina Karimian what you're gonna get. Quite literally.
Imagine if RIZIN's the one that actually gets to book Satari and Sina somehow.
That would be interesting. And another thing that we should point out is that K1 is allowing K1 fighters to work RIZIN.
No, that's never been a problem with the new management.
With Miata coming in, he did mention something about talking about like pausing it for a while. I think at one of the press conferences, pausing it because of
they kicked out Toyota. Carlos Toyota left. Miata's in.
Yes.
But like that's is it pausing? It's RIZIN the one that they really had the problem with because they had a problem with the judging and thought the judging was no wait, I'm sorry. It was the opposite. RIZIN had a problem with K1. I'm sorry about that.
Yes, RIZIN had a problem with K1. I'm just saying, like, I thought Miata said something about that being on pause, and then they must have worked out whatever differences they had in order for Asahisa and Karimian now to work this show.
Yeah. Oh, listen to this. Combat Sports today actually had it. Listen to this. Give Kisaki Kato his rematch against Sina.
Honestly, I would have. Honestly, if it was up to me, I would have booked Sina versus Igor Tanabe, but that's just me.
Oh God, but he's so much bigger than him, though. Like, and if it in a kickboxing match,
no, hell no.
Okay, I was like, in
MMA.
a kickboxing match, no. MMA match, I'm not accepting if I'm Cena either. Like, you tell me, oh, if I look at the Igor's 4 or 5 fights, and I'm like, oh, all first round submissions, fuck no. And he's an absolute champion as well. That's another thing. Igor's an absolute champion, so he's fought people that are bigger than Cena.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, I would have wanted to give Cena a really, really hard fight.
But I don't think K1's interested. I don't think they're in a position to really like do that. They're not in a position to stop their fighter. I mean, they're losing fighters like almost feels like weekly almost. Feels
It does. It does.
And so they have to be as fighter friendly as possible. Much maybe that they don't want to, maybe what they say publicly, but yeah, they are. I feel bad for the new management because they're trying to right the wrong of the old management. But the problem is that I think the old management really pissed off so many of their fighters that it's reverberated to the current management. I feel bad. I do feel bad that that they're losing fighters and they're trying their best. They're honestly, I give them their credit. They're trying their best. They're trying to bring talent over. I saw for the next K1 show who they're bringing over. It's like, oh, these are good. These are good fighters. I've seen these guys fight in, K1,
Infusion, Glory.
Yeah. So I give them credit, but they're just, it's whatever they're selling, it's not sticking, unfortunately. And unfortunately, they're losing fighters to one with one's fake contract. So yeah.
But Mr. Miyata knows what he's doing.
Okay. Hopefully, it's hopefully they focus less on that whole international expansion thing. Figure out what they need to do domestically, then they can do whatever they want internationally.
Yeah, because internationally, it was a bust.
Oh God, it was. Yeah. Though the New York City show was a lot of fun, I can tell you that.
And it was free too, wasn't it?
Oh yes, that's the other thing. It was free, and I got a great T-shirt out of it as well. Want to ask you as well, what other parts of the card are you looking forward to besides, like the other? I guess.
I'm gonna say for RIZIN 49. I'm gonna say the 3 title matches. I think they're all excellent.
Did you see that apparently they originally supposed to be Gazmatov?
Yes.
Against Kyoji, and I'm like, thank God you didn't go with that. Like the guy's like 4-0 and 5-0, and you're gonna just you're gonna do that to him on it after he beats a strawweight.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad. I'm glad that fight did not work out.
Agreed. I mean, Zulu is as good a challenger as you're going to get at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was looking at his record. He's only been finished once, and he has like an 80% finishing rate, and he's EFC champion. And apparently DDP is going to be in his corner. So listen. RIZIN is obsessed with UFC now. They're gonna be showing DDP every fucking chance that they can. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and then the other fight I'm actually looking forward to is Ryuya Fukuda versus Ashizawa.
Yeah. So I was actually looking at that fight before our thing, and I'm like, why would Catfish call out this veteran MMA fighter? And I looked it up. He has one fight that he's won by submission. All the rest are by decision or KO. And I'm like, I see why you want to fight this guy.
Styles makes fight. It's stylistically a good match for him.
Yes. And I'm glad that he's learning that now because the Ultimate fight was so dumb to take on as his first
Yes.
MMA fight. Whether it was his choice or not, and apparently it was his choice, that's the other thing. Sometimes these fighters just gotta be told, that's not good. So someone should have been in his ear and told them they should not be facing an Olympic level wrestler, an Olympic medalist wrestler on his first fight.
Yeah, and then finally Akimoto Matoya. We'll see if it's too soon for Akimoto.
It's interesting. I was also looking up those two. They both have beaten Kentaro, and they both have beaten Yamaniha.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting that they had that little kind of like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon MMA thing, whatever.
Common opponents.
It's very interesting. I don't know, like it's remember that for that time that Matoya was like, it was right during the bantamweight tournament. I was right after I think it was the Ryo Okada fight, and he was like, he fell in love with his striking.
Yes.
And then he started losing very badly to like other strikers.
Losing to Takizawa.
And I'm forgetting the other people, the other other two fighters. Oh, Vince Morales as well.
And then Kai.
Who's that?
Kai.
Oh, Kai as well. So yeah, that's the thing, is that like now that he's back to just doing kind of like grappling. I mean, we saw what the Ota fight rematch. He won that 2-0 against Ota. By the way, another stupid fight that Ota should have been told, don't take that. And he looked better. He looked better than the first one, but like, Toya's a sneaky good grappler. Did you see that they're also that if Naoki Inoue was not injured, that they were going to do Matoya versus Inoue for this show, for the title?
That was probably as good as you're going to get at this point.
Yeah, but apparently on the RIZIN Confessions, they said that Akimoto versus Matoya is whoever wins will be next for Inoue.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have much depth at bantamweight.
Yeah, and Inoue picked Matoya to win this.
I'm going with Akimoto.
I'm still kind of like, I could kind of. It's once it gets into, I know fights start on the feet and all that stuff, but man, if he can get him down to the ground and just like, if he takes his back, then it's like over. I think it's over for Akimoto.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big test for Akimoto. It's gonna be a test. The thing that I'll say about this card, this first part of the card, there's a lot of young fighters, a lot of young Japanese fighters on here, and I'm hoping a few of them shine and give RIZIN some depth and some potential star power.
Oh yeah,
they need it.
I highly recommend checking out the RIZIN Koshin portion of the confessions, that the most recent confessions. It's so good. Cannot wait for that. It's gonna be. I think that fight's gonna be really good. I don't know what they mean by Koshin MMA rules or whatever. I'm assuming that means it's based. I feel like that's gonna be like almost deep MMA rules, kind of like soccer kicks. Maybe even no elbows to the head or something. No knees to the head, maybe.
Maybe, but what a thrill for those kids to make their professional debuts at Saitama Super Arena. Like, wow.
Yeah, and one is 16. Saito's 16, and Onigiri-kun is 18.
Wow. Like, I mean, this is what RIZIN has to do, though. They're trying to make new stars. They're trying to find new young talent. They're doing the right thing here.
Last thing I'm going to ask you is, what do you think about the Izawa versus Argentinian fight?
Considering it was supposed to be her versus Rena, and there probably was no one else, I guess it's okay.
No, I disagree with that. Unless this woman has, like, she's married to a Japanese man, or she lives in Japan, or she trains in Thailand, I would have just picked anybody from Deep Jewels. Man, like I would have, I know that's Morei Suda.
Morei Suda, yeah.
He had a fight last week or 2 weeks ago in Osaka. Listen, it's Japanese MMA. She dominated the fight, and she could have easily taken the fight probably as well on short notice. But also, what about Anastasia Svetskiska? Remember?
I was thinking about her. I'm wondering what happened to her.
Yeah, she just has disappeared since the Azerbaijani show. But she did pretty good against Izawa in the first round.
She did.
In their fight.
She did, and it would have been a very it could have been a title match.
Yeah. So yeah.
The reason this woman's here is because she beat Panchon Rina in Ganryujima virtual fight,
which I had to be reminded of. I didn't even, that fight was it was a shitty fight, and I was like, wait, she was? I had to go back like, oh, yeah, I remember this fight because it sucked because I know, listen, Panchon Reina is not good. Like, I don't care. That's my hot take is that Panchon Reina is not a good fighter. People only like her because she's hot.
Yeah, I was going to say, worst case scenario, couldn't there have been like a shoot boxing woman they could have brought in?
I don't know. Men's shoot boxing seems to be great. I don't know about women's shoot boxing at this point.
I mean, K1 booked K1 booked a few got some female shoot boxers in the past.
Oh man,
like Mio, I think came from.
What's her name? Oh, what about Arisa Matsuda? Isn't she atom weight?
She might be. I'm not sure. I'm not overly familiar with deep jewels, but yeah. Now that you,
okay,
I don't care. To be blunt, I don't care about it. Isawa is just biding her time basically before UFC if that's indeed what happens.
Yeah, I'm just like, because Barra said he wanted all the titles defended on this show. Okay, Naoki anyway, injured. I get it. This one, your challenger's injured. Your champion's fine. You could have still found somebody and still found a way to sneak in a title shot that way. Do you remember when
Machi?
Machi, that's what I was thinking of. Machi, that was the other name I was trying to think of. Do you remember when Reina fought that Spanish woman when
yeah,
who was like 0-5 or
0-3?
This feels like that almost.
It does. So you know what?
Yep.
No, honestly, it's just it's a stay busy fight, but Izawa's really wasting her prime.
Izawa's career, if you really look at it, like post championship, she hasn't defended the RIZIN belt once. I don't think she's defended the deep belt. I think.
Did she? No, I don't think she has.
She's defended the deep jewels belt, but like after winning that tournament, it's basically been like busy fights, keep busy fights for her in RIZIN.
Yeah, it has.
The other thing we could have done is Oshima, but
yeah, that's never going to happen. Clearly, at this point.
Before we go, Mike, I just want to mention that I don't have the stuff here, but I'm doing a giveaway. Giving away a RIZIN XL black T-shirt and deep program. The way that you can enter is by following the Twitter We Are RIZIN Pod and by sending me a message. DMs are open on what fight you're looking forward to the most at RIZIN at RIZIN 49 Decade. So if you have not entered, please enter, and it's open to everyone. If you're in Japan, which I wouldn't understand, if you're in Japan, why would you want to get a shirt that you just get so easily there? If you're in the United States, Europe, Antarctica, and I'll ship it to wherever, it's on me. Don't worry. And now, Mike, I just would like to get your where people can reach you if you want to be reached.
I'm on the Discord, the We Are RIZIN Discord at Mike S, and my email address is msold7@aol.com. Other than that, I don't mess with social media. It's bullshit.
So everybody who wants to follow the podcast, please follow at We Are RIZIN Pod on Twitter X. Make sure you also follow J Wolf, good friend J Wolf at JYolf1. Follow good friend Christian at Chris Gary Twitter X, and he has Focus Fights, who just did a preview review yesterday. Nice little short preview yesterday, and you can find all the stuff that they do on Linktree Focus Fights. Other than that, appreciate everybody who tuned in to this first part of RIZIN 49 Decade. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, will be the first half of the card up until Yuta Kubo versus Zuliev. So please tune in for that. And then Sunday with Charlie Jewett will be the rest of the main card at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So on that, appreciate everybody tuned in and interacted. And please enter the contest. And hope to see you for tomorrow and Sunday. Take care, everybody.
Have a good one.
Oh.